Welcome to College Algebra. This is Math 1314. My name is Stacy Keene, and I want to take a little bit of your time to go over the course with you and get you started on the right foot. Now, if you are listening to this video, then you have obviously clicked on the Getting Started tab over here, read these instructions, and you're looking at the video. I want to start with you, however, on the course homepage. Every time you log into My Math Lab, you will start here on the course homepage. At the top, you see there are announcements. I send an announcement out every week, kind of reminding you of what it is that you need to be working on for the week, and that announcement will show up here. It is also simultaneously sent to whatever email address you used when you registered with My Math Lab. It's my primary mode of communication with you, so make sure that you're using an email address that you're going to check. Now, the next thing I want to show you on this homepage is there's a calendar here that is for the week, and it will show you what homeworks are available, what announcements have been posted, and so forth. And I also want to encourage you to run the browser check for your computer. So since this is an online math course, it's very important that you have all of the plugins running, and this is going to check and make sure that you have everything you need in order to run the course. Now, the next thing I want to point out to you is the course syllabus. I need you to read over the syllabus. You're responsible for all the material that's contained within the syllabus, but I want to highlight a few things to you. The first off is you do not need to purchase a hard copy of this textbook. If you wanted to, you could find this textbook at our bookstore, online, anywhere like that. But the next thing I want to point out to you is you're not necessarily required to purchase a graphing calculator for this class. Now, I'm going to be showing and using a graphing calculator, the 84 graphing calculator, in my videos, but I wanted to tell you that there are both web-based and app versions of a calculator that you are more than welcome to use at home. And then if you are going to come up to the testing center here on campus, or if you go into the math lab, then you can check a calculator out at that time. I don't know much about these emulators. I do know that they work. I know students have used them in the past. For your computer, for a Windows or a Mac computer, and for an Android smartphone, the Wabbit, it sounds funny, but the Wabbit emulator is absolutely perfect. It looks exactly like your regular graphing calculator and runs the same way. And then if you have an iPhone, then unfortunately there's no true emulator for it, but there is something close. It's called Graph and Calc 83, and it is something you would have to purchase, and this other one, the Wabbit, is free. So I just wanted to make you aware that you're not required to purchase a calculator, graphing calculator, although we will be using one, so don't think you have to go out and buy one. The next thing I want to point out to you has to do with the final exam. Now, although the entirety of the course is online, we do have one exam at the end, that is your final exam, that is proctored. So it's going to be a written test, and you either need to take it here at the MCC Testing Center with an approved proctor at whatever location you're at, and by approved you need to send me some names and we can talk about that later, or I can actually proctor your exam using Zoom, and we would have a specified time for that to occur. So those are your three choices for handling the final exam. And the last thing I want to encourage you or let you know about is the ADA statement, where if you're in this class and you have a diagnosed disability or require some sort of accommodation, then I would appreciate hearing from you so that you know that we're going to work together for a successful completion of this course. Go ahead and schedule an appointment with me, and be sure to follow the instructions in the syllabus to complete any disability service requirements. Now, the next thing I want to show you over here is the video conference instructions. I just told you that I can actually proctor your exam via Zoom. Zoom is somewhat like Skype, sort of. It's a video conferencing tool that we are able to use in this course, and these are the instructions on how to get into it if you want. The next link over here I want to point out to you is the weekly calendar. So this is the calendar for the entire semester. I highly encourage you to print the calendar out, put it next to your computer, or put it with all of your books, whatever. Just be sure that you're referring to it. These are the sections that we will be covering on a weekly basis, and these are the assignments over here in the last column, the rightmost column. These are the assignments that we will be covering. Now I want you to notice that we cover what I would call a chapter at a time. So although there are what looks to be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 assignments for chapter 1, all of the assignments are going to actually be due on the date that the test is due. So you can see here that the chapter 1 test is due on Tuesday the 13th, September 13th by 11:59 p.m. and that means every single one of these assignments is also due on that date. And so that's how I am working this semester. It's kind of a chapter by chapter. Now don't get behind and think that you're going to do all 7 of those or all 6 of those assignments Monday night or even Sunday night the day before your test, because I don't think it's going to work out for you really well. But print this out and keep it next to you. Now, how do you handle an online math course? Well, what I have provided for you right here under the class notes and lecture videos are my lecture videos along with blank notes for you to fill in, and then my completed notes for after I lectured. Don't be discouraged when you see the number of videos that are listed over here for each section. My goal when recording these videos was to try to keep the videos down to somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Sometimes they're as little as 2.5 minutes. They may be as much as around 16 minutes or maybe a little bit more than that. It just depends on how much material I was having to cover on that particular topic. So they are divided up here by the topics that are covered within that section. And they are all on a YouTube playlist. So I'm going to click this playlist for you and show you that it'll come up in another video. And so this is the playlist for all of the chapter 1 videos. You just click on the link, it'll open the video up, I'll start talking, and there you go, we go from there. Now that's the playlist that contains all of the videos for chapter 1, and each of these links is just to get directly into the video. The blank notes I'm going to pull up for you as well. They are Adobe files that you're welcome to print before you listen to the lecture, and then you'll have them in front of you as you follow through the lecture so you can take the notes. These are all of the problems that I work for this section in the chapter, and you can see the notes are in there. Those are the blank notes, and then after I lectured I put up the completed notes. So you can see this is my completed work right here. All of these things are available to you, and I want you to make use of them because they are what takes the place of you coming and sitting in a class, listening to me lecture and taking the notes. So this is here for you, and it's what you need to be doing before you actually do the homework. After you've watched the lecture video and taken the notes, then you're going to come down here and you're going to work on the homework. Now I'm going to click on the homework tab. And you can see here that all of the homework for all of the sections are listed. And you just click on the link and it opens the page, and you're going to go through and you're going to look at that. And I'm going to go back for just a second. I want to point something out to you on this page. Over here on the left hand side is the due date for all of these assignments. They are all due on a Tuesday night by 11:59 p.m. I don't give extensions for this. You have 2.5, maybe 3 weeks to get a group of assignments done, and that's it. So no extensions for any of the assignments. The due dates are clearly stated right here. Now your homework assignments, you have an unlimited number of attempts to get each of these problems correct. Theoretically, you could make 100 on all of these assignments. I want to show you all of the assignments that are up there now. So these are the homework assignments that are in blue, that have the circle next to them. Then you have quizzes. The quizzes, you'll notice over here, quizzes have 3 attempts. So you have 3 attempts to get the quiz right. And then the post-test, you only get 1 attempt at that. And the tests are timed. Be aware of that. You want to know that material so well that in 100 minutes you're going to be able to complete it. The test questions, there's only generally around 20 questions on the test, and that gives you an hour and a half, a little more than an hour and a half to complete the test, which is the same amount of time that you would have if you were sitting in my face-to-face class, and you would have a test to take there. So the other thing I want to show you is these skills checks. Now, the skill check and the review that comes from the skill check, I have these at the beginning of each of the chapters. They are not for a grade, so even though this is a test, in theory, even though it is a test, it's a way for you to see what type of material you should know already before you get into this chapter. And if you take this test, and it's like a pre-test, we'll call it. You take this test and you miss some questions on the pre-test, then the homework that's generated based on the pre-test is going to help you skill and drill the material that you should already know. So the skill check as well as the review homework, the skills review homework, are not worth a grade. And so it's up to you as to whether or not you want to complete them, but it might be a good way for you to know before you get into the chapter what material you should have a handle on. Now down here I have the chapter review quiz, and you notice that there's a flag on the assignment right after that. That says that you're going to take this quiz based on the homework that you've been completing, and once you take that quiz right there, it's going to generate homework again based on the material that you're not real familiar with, or maybe you need some more help with. So that's the idea behind the review quiz and the homework. Once you've completed all of the homework sections, once you've completed all of the homework sections and the review quiz and homework, then you'll be ready to take the post-test. And I hope by that time, after listening to the lecture, practicing on the homework, doing the review, by that time you should be pretty prepared to take the post-test. There's 2 links over here. There's a homework link, which gets you just straight into homework. There's a link here for quizzes and tests, which gets you straight into just quizzes and tests. But at the top of both of these pages is an option for you to be able to look at all of the assignments on one. Now the grade book. The grade book is your grade. So I've gotten in and played with these materials, which is why you see something here in the grade book. But this grade book is your grade for the semester. Since since you're not completing any homework that I would have to enter offline, your grade is current. You should know exactly what your grade is the entire semester. Communication. If you decide to email me directly from within here, you can email me here, as well as you can email any of your fellow students if you choose to kind of try to meet up with somebody else and see if they're having a question as well. My contact information is down here, and you can see here these are the times when I am actually sitting in my office. So I will be here if you want to call me. I have a lot of students who will reach out to me on the phone if they have questions, and we can go over things together. That's a great way for us to communicate. More than likely I'm in my office at other times because I pretty much get here at 8 in the morning. I leave about 4:30 at night in the afternoon, so if I'm not teaching, I'll be sitting in my office. This is the phone number you can reach me at. This is my email if you need to communicate with me through email, and I encourage you to do that as well. I state in the syllabus, and I didn't point it out while we were looking at it, but if you send me an email, I need you to put in the subject line what course and section you are in, along with your name in the body of the email. Okay, because I have several online classes that I teach, so I need to know which one you're in. And then if you want to visit with me via Zoom, and you want the idea behind Zoom is that not only can we Skype each other sort of, but I can share my computer screen, or I can look at what you're doing, something like that. If you choose to do that, then you can just click here and it will automatically enter you into a meeting, and I will get an email about it. Now I can only communicate with you via Zoom while I'm here on campus. So that's my contact information. Now, one other thing I do want to point out to you is under this Tools for Success button. There is a learning guide, and I really like this idea in the new book that we're using this semester, and it's extra practice for you to be able to look at. It's divided up by chapter, and so if I were to just look at this Chapter 1 learning guide, you can see here that there's some extra practice problems for you. On the left hand side of the problem will be a worked example along with an explanation, and on the left hand side is the worked example, and on the right hand side is your opportunity to practice. At the end of this worksheet are the answers to it. So I'm scrolling down here, and these are all of the answers to those pencil problems that you can practice with. Lots of opportunity to practice in this class. Something else I want to point out under Tools for Success is here for the graphing calculator help. If you haven't used a graphing calculator very much, or if you have forgotten some of the tools and some of the basic processes for using the graphing calculator, come over here and look at this information right here. This graphing calculator help would be a great resource for you. And then I encourage you to play around with this part of the section, see what other type of aids are offered to you within the body of the website, because it is just a wealth of resources for you. One last thing I want to point out is the study plan. I have students who will use the study plan as a means of extra practice. Just understand that I don't ever see the study plan. You're never going to get a grade based off of it, but it is a tool for extra practice if you choose. Okay, so that is how the course is going to go. Again, you want to print the weekly calendar, and then you're going to jump right in and start watching the videos and taking notes. If you need anything from me over the semester, I highly encourage you to pick up the phone and call me, or email me as well. Good luck with this online class that you have.